The mini-bots are one of my favorite subgroups of Transformers. And a few months ago, and by a few months I mean a long while ago now, I made a video talking about the new updated deluxe scale mini-bots that we had seen in the War for Cybertron trilogy. And in that, I expressed my hope that we would get to see that trend continue and more mini-bots in a deluxe scale come through. And now, thanks to, unfortunately, Walmart and the Velocitron Speedia 500 exclusive collection, we've got this little guy. How's it going, everyone? Deceptibot9 here, and thank you for joining me once again back here on the channel. Really quick, before we get into the video too far, go ahead, if you like what you see, leave me a like, and if you want to see more of it and stick around for all the future content I've got planned, go ahead and subscribe as well. It truly does mean a lot to me. So, as you can see, yes, we are going to be taking a look at Legacy Cosmos today, and man, oh man, this guy has been a bit of a pain to find, but I am so glad that I have finally found him. Coming in at packed 1 per case made it really tough, along with the fact that Walmart's barely stock exclusives to begin with, and I don't live next to a lot of them. I got very lucky finding this guy. If you saw my review of McFarlane's Shazam, I actually had a really good Walmart day because I found Shazam and Cosmos at the same time. It absolutely blew my mind. I don't think I'll ever get a better Walmart haul than that. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and take a closer look at Legacy Cosmos. Alright, and here is a closer look at Cosmos. We're starting out here in his UFO mode because that is how he comes packaged, which is so fun to see. I love that the Legacy Velocitron line has been packaging them in their vehicle modes. It's just a fun little throwback to how figures used to be packed. I really like it. And as you can see in the 360 view, he does look really nice. I know a lot of people were worried about how big the tower part of him looked, but honestly, in hand, it is not that bad. So looking at the closer details here of the UFO, it is just a very, nice looking green colored UFO. We got a couple different greens going on here. This sort of base military-esque green going on with this sort of darker forest green to highlight on some areas. We get a little hint of red right up there where his head will be, and some yellow, of course, that we see in the robot mode. Some silver right here on the front, plus right up here we get some nice painted blue with an Autobot insignia. And of course you can see, his weapon right here on the side, which is both a gun and a flag, because while Cosmos is not participating in the race part of the Velocitron Speedia 500, he is the flag bearer. He starts the race, he ends the race, all that fun stuff. And you can see on both sides of him there are some 5mm ports, so you can store it in the side like that, or there is some ports in the back, so you could put it here sideways like that, or even there is a little tinier port, I think it's 3mm, and there is a little section right there on the gun where you could put blast effects and such, and you can plug that into the top little port there. So if you want to make him look like he's got the flag and he's trailing behind everyone with the flag, you can certainly do that. I think it is a fun little look overall for Cosmos. Now, before we get into transformation, I'm going to go ahead and show off some comparisons to some other figures. Alright, first we'll compare him to the Thrilling 30 version of Cosmos. This is, unfortunately, the only other version of Cosmos I have. I do not have the G1, or I think there was a Universe one at some point too. As much as I love Cosmos, this was my first Cosmos, and now we've got the new version. You can see they're drastically different in terms of their approach to the UFO. Obviously, this one here is a little more inspired by G1, a little more sillier look, and this one is sort of more the flying saucer look that we have come to expect UFOs to be lately. Here's Cosmos next to two of the other mini-bots. We've got Cliffjumper and Bumblebee. They're some of my favorites. I love these mold, the Cliffjumper Bumblebee mold, despite how small they are. I just think they're a lot of fun. And you can really see here the sizing of Cosmos compared to Cliffjumper is He's about the same size up and down. He's a little bit shorter, but he's obviously way, way wider. Plus, he's got nothing on the height. Cosmos is much taller. Same thing, Bumblebee's about the same proportions, so not much going on there. But, I mean, it's looking great. And in terms of the other mini-bots from the War for Cybertron trilogy, here's Cosmos with Huffer and Warpath. Now, I do not yet have Pipes, but we get the basic idea here with Huffer. And you can see this is a much closer scale in terms of how these figures look with each other. Huffer obviously is, you know, still a little bit bigger than Cosmos in terms of going up and down, but Cosmos is a little bit wider and he is going to be a little bit taller. And same thing here with Warpath. Warpath much taller if you stand them front to front, but Cosmos is wider if you stack them in front of each other, and Cosmos is only a little slightly taller, as I know you can't really see that there, but slightly taller than Warpath there. So the mini-bot collection is coming together quite well. Here's all of the modern mini-bots together in their vehicle mode, and these are just looking so good. I can't wait to get more like Beachcomber and Sea Spray and Power Glide. I think those three will be set. All right, here we go. Let's get Cosmos transformed up into his robot mode. Right, and here is Cosmos fully transformed up into his robot mode, and I have to say, his transformation is so much fun. I cannot put this guy down. I love transforming him between robot mode and UFO mode. It is just a whole lot of fun, and as you can see here in robot mode, this guy looks awesome. He looks so good. He is nice and chubby and tubby, which we love to see on Cosmos. And yes, there is, you know, some gappage going on there in terms of where the hands come from for transformation, but honestly, I don't mind because the rest of the figure is really solid and looks great. So let's go ahead and take a closer look here at some new details going on. This head sculpt is amazing. I love the way this looks. I love the red. The blue eyes coming down there are so good. The yellow paint on him as well, so you can get the battle mask and everything. Looks awesome. We get some more yellow here. If we flipped it to the bottom of the UFO mode, we would have seen this a little bit, but it's coming off on camera that this yellow is a lot brighter, and the same yellow that's on his face is a lot brighter than the yellow here of the legs, and it's drastic on camera, but in person it is really not that noticeable at all. It looks basically the same tone of yellow, but obviously it's because this yellow is actual molded yellow plastic, whereas this one is paint. So that's where that discrepancy is coming from, but in person it really genuinely does not look that bad. We get his hands here, which unfortunately do not have any wrist swivel, but we'll get to that when we get to articulation. But we get the nice little exhaust ports here on the side, and the front of the UFOs become the feet. Otherwise, there's not much new detailing. There is some here on the legs, because the legs are now in full force, but coming around even to the back, a little bit of gaps, not a big deal. The back of the UFO has remained the back of the robot, so he looks great, and I just absolutely love the way Cosmos looks in robot mode. He's really posable too, which we'll get to here in a minute, but let me show off this accessory. I think this is so neat, so much fun. We looked at it pegged into the UFO mode, but this is where it plays in a lot more. So you can actually get him to hold it like it is an actual flag, which I love. It's so much fun. It's so unique for Cosmos as well. But if you would prefer Cosmos to be doing some battle, obviously you just pull it out of the hand. There is a 5mm port there on the other side where we plugged it in on the UFO mode, and you can just plug that into his hand. And of course now he is rocking the gun. And on the gun itself, the flag portion, if you do not want to have that on there, is just pegged in with a 5mm port. I don't know what's going on there with mine with that little green smudge, but I leave mine plugged in for the most part, so it doesn't even matter. But you can take the flag part out and still have him wield the gun if you want just a sort of base standard Cosmos look with just the gun. And in terms of storage, as you saw, we can put it on his arms if you would like. The ports there from the side of the UFO remain, or if you would like him to just put it on his back, he can do that as well in the same port that we saw for vehicle mode, and you can just keep it on there as the flag as well if you would like. But just because it's fun, let's go ahead and give him the flag. So real quick, let's go ahead and show off articulation on Cosmos. So coming up here at the head, you're getting a lot in the head. It's just on a ball joint, but it is very free and expressive. You can see it can go side to side. It can go look down that much, look up that much. It can, of course, swivel all the way around. It's just a very, very expressive head. And, of course, part of that comes down into just how the face is overall. The arms are pretty large, but they can go back that far. They cannot really swivel all the way around going the forward way, but they can if you go the back way. It's just gets locked by some of this triangle stuff here on the top if you go back that way. Goes out about that far, pretty solid range. There is a bend at the elbow which gets it to going about 90. It can swivel at the elbow as well. Like I mentioned, there is no wrist swivel or anything. It just pivots in due to transformation, so that is slightly disappointing and hindering, but not a deal breaker. He does have a waist swivel here at the waist where it was the UFO, and that can go all the way around. You just got to get the hip skirts out of the way a little bit. The hip skirts, as you saw during transformation, they're on a pin. They can pivot. Legs go forward that far. They go backwards that far, and they go out all the way like that just to get fully to the side. So you can do a full split, which we love. It swivels up here at the thigh, bends at the knee about 90, and ankles pivot to the side. You get the tilt, and they do not tilt up and down. All right, let's show off some comparisons here to Legacy Cosmos. First, here is that old Legends scale figure. You can see this Cosmos is obviously much bigger than being a deluxe. I would hope so. You can see the greens are different, but you get the same basic look. You know, it's the same basic idea. They're both Cosmos. They got big feet, they got big arms and hands, and red dome heads with the mask sculpts, and these two are a lot of fun. I do really still like this Cosmos a lot, but Legacy one's got him beat. All right, here's Cosmos with Cliff Jumper and Bumblebee, and you can see that despite their vehicle modes being pretty small in comparison to Cosmos's, their robot modes almost even up in terms of at least height. Cosmos obviously has a lot more going on wider, but Bumblebee and Cliff Jumper are almost as tall as Cosmos. And here's Cosmos with Huffer and Warpath, and oh my gosh, these three look so freaking good together. It really makes me want, I know I've said it already, but it really makes me want new versions of Sea Spray and Power Glide and Beachcomber in this size scale and with the modern engineering that these figures have done, because a whole mini-bot collection like these guys would be just absolutely incredible. Adding in Bumblebee and Cliff Jumper, here is a shot of all of the mini-bots so far, minus Pipes, because again, I do not have Pipes yet, but I will hopefully be getting him soon. And even adding in Bumblebee and Cliff Jumper, these guys just look so great together. I would love to finish this mini-bot capsule someday soon. All right, that is going to do it for a closer look at Cosmos. So without further ado, let's go ahead and throw it back up to me for my final thoughts. Alright, so my final thoughts on Cosmos here is that overall he is really, really great. He is so much fun. If you have enjoyed the other mini-bots from the War for Cybertron trilogy, namely Huffer, Pipes, and Warpath, there's a great chance you are going to love Cosmos because he is, on the same level as those figures, with a fun transformation that just really makes me want to go back and forth all the time, with a great looking robot mode and a great looking alt mode. With the way he pairs with all those figures, Cosmos is really, really great. And it sucks that he is a Walmart exclusive who is packed one per case, because that makes him so incredibly difficult for a lot of people to find, not to mention the scalpers who have, of course, go in and they buy that one per case and then they try to upsell it later. So if you want Cosmos, I really, really hope you are able to get Cosmos, because he is a fantastic little guy. Alright everyone, that is going to do it for my full review on Legacy Cosmos. Go ahead and let me know down below, have you been able to get a Cosmos yet? And if you have, what do you think of him overall? Do you love him like me? Do you not? Are you on the fence about him? All that kind of fun stuff. I just love talking Transformers with you guys. So with all that said, I've been your host, Deceptibot9. Thank you all for joining me so much and watching all the way to the end. I really do truly appreciate it, and I'll see you guys later.